While in Stuart, Florida, for the first of this year's 3 Trawlerfests, we asked co-presenter Mark Waltner from M&M Marine Services if he could show his technique for disassembling and cleaning an outboard carburetor. In this video, Mark disassembles a 9-horse Tohatsu carburetor during the seminar on troubleshooting dinghies and outboard motors.
Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to disassemble a carburetor from a 9.8 horsepower Tohatsu. We're going to start at the top of the carburetor and remove the cover plate up here. What this does is it covers up the idle circuit, and what we want to do is be able to get all the cleaning solution to the passages up on top of the carburetor. That's what these are here. This is where the fuel all comes through here and it goes into the idle circuit. We'll go from there, we'll flip the carburetor over and remove the bowl. Okay, there's 4 screws that hold this.
I mean, those are the basic things. You want to narrow it down to whether it's the motor or the boat, and then attack the problem. Right. But those engines have inherent issues.
Inside here, you'll find a needle and seat and a float, which we're going to inspect and make sure works. Okay.
Go 4-stroke, go fuel.
What you have here, this is your float, and your needle is up under here. You want to remove that.
It's there. I just took it off the truck yesterday. It's there, and when that one's gone,
I need another screwdriver here.
We always have them. I keep the bigger motors. I don't keep a ton in stock. I keep 115 down pretty regularly.
Okay, and what you have here, this is the float and your needle valve. This slips into a slot right here for reassembly, but what you want to do is you want to soak these items in your carburetor cleaner with your jets and your base and what have you here. The next thing you want to do is you're going to remove the jets. Start with it. There we go. Let's grab this one. This is just a plug that covers the draw tube. We want to remove that as well. There you go. What you want to do is get that thing moving in there, and I usually use a pick to dig it out of there, because what you want to do is this is where all the crud is hiding, as we've seen earlier. Now it's not going to want to come out again. There it comes. There we go. This is the draw tube. It's going to have debris and fuel deposits around that, so you want that removed so it can be soaked. This is your main jet. And underneath the main jet, you'll find your idle jet. And this is critical to get this guy out of here. So now you have all the pieces to the carburetor. They're basically ready to put in your solution and soak. You want to immerse everything that you see here, not the rubber gaskets, but the base, the body, the jets, the needle, the float. You want all of that stuff soaking in your solution so that the fuel deposits can be broken down. After several hours, I like to do them for a day, but 3 or 4 hours is usually good enough. You'll want to rinse them and blow them off with air, and then you go back to reassembling. It is critical to make sure that each one of these jets, that you can look through it and see, see the passage, see light through there. Make sure the draw tube is clean and shiny, no deposits. You'll see there's a lot of soot, debris that's sitting on there. At that point, you want to reassemble it and take it back basically in the same order that you took it apart. you're going to put your idle jet in here, and you're going to run it in and snug it up. You're going to put your draw tube in, and hopefully this will all be clean. It'll just fall in there when it's clean. Okay, you're going to cover that with the plug. And then you're going to put your main jet over your idle jet, like so. Make sure it's plugged up. Okay. From there, you install your float and needle valve. This will go in the slot here, and that will go right into what they call the seat, like so. And it's got a hold down screw right here. Now once this is all installed and tightened up, you're going to want to check it for the proper float setting. And what you're looking for is the float to be level with the carburetor body. You do not want contact with the body itself, and because if it's making contact, it's not fully closing the needle. If this is level and no contact is made, you're ready to put your bowl back on. Most times you'll be putting a new gasket on here. If you're in an emergency, you may have to reuse your old one. In which case you may have to stretch it out a little bit and get it back in the groove. And then, of course, it's not going to want to do that today. Okay. And then we're going to install this back onto the carburetor. You have your 4 screws that go in the bowl. You're going to snug those all up equally. And then what I like to do is I'll just flip it over and we'll install the top cover plate. Make sure there's no debris or moisture inside there. We'll install that. Snug those up, and then basically your carburetor has been rebuilt and is ready to reinstall back on your engine.